Good morning, everyone. Today's topic is industries during the Sultanate period. We do not have any detailed account of the economic. However, we have some information regarding the industries of this period and their manufactures. So these industries are textile, metallurgy, building activity, mining, leatherwork, paper making, etc. Among these industries, the major one was textile. So today we'll talk about the textile industry. Textile production was the biggest industry of India, and it included the manufacture of cotton clothes, woolen clothes, as well as clothes made of silk. Cotton clothes could be divided into two categories, the coarse cotton and the fine cotton. जिसे मोटा कपड़ा या महीन कपड़ा कहा जाता था. The coarse cotton was also called pat, and it was especially worn by the poor. It was often manufactured in households in the villages, and it was also produced in some regions such as Awadh, from which it was imported to Delhi. तो यह एक गृह उद्योग भी था और ग्राम के लेवल पर उसका उत्पादन होता था. Cotton cloth of little superior quality was called calico. उससे उच्च कोटि का सूती कपड़ा जो है कैलिको यानी कृपास के नाम से भी जाना जाता था, एंड इट वाज वाइडली यूज्ड. क्लोथ्स ऑफ फाइन वैरायटी इंक्लूडेड मसलिन. बहुत उत्तम श्रेणी के कपड़ों में मसलिन यानी मलमल का नाम आता है, एंड मलमल वाज प्रोड्यूस्ड basically at Silhat and Dhaka in Bengal and Devgir in the Deccan. This was so fine and expensive that it was to be worn only by the nobles and the very rich. The region of Gujarat produced many varieties of fine cotton stuff, and there's a traveler Barbosa who tells us that Cambay was the center for the manufacture of all kinds of finer and coarse cotton clothes. And from the region of Gujarat, we also get references of other varieties of cloth. खंबात एक बहुत बड़ी बंदरगाह थी गुजरात में, और खंबात में हमको रेफरेंस मिलता है कि नील द्वारा रंगे हुए कपड़े उनका निर्यात बड़ी मात्रा में खंबात से होता था. And we get also the references of other cheap varieties of clothes like velvet, satins, taftas. These were also manufactured. You will find a long list of clothes in Burmese Tarikh-e-Firoz Shahi, and I'm just reading out some of the names of the clothes from Burmese Tarikh-e-Firoz Shahi, and these names are like Khaze Dehli, Astar Lal Nagori, Shiri Bak, and the fine variety of clothes included like Tasbih, Tabrezi, Kamfab, Shashtari, Hariri, Chini, Dhiram Devgiri, etc. Besides that, we also get the reference of the varieties of clothes that were painted and printed by using blocks of wood. A 14th century Sufi Hindi poet, Mulla Daud, talks of printed clothes in his work Chandayan. चंदायन में इन वस्त्रों का उल्लेख खांड छाप के संदर्भ में आया है कि इन्हें छापा जाता था. It seems that the production of cloth improved during the 14th century because of the introduction of spinning wheel. कि चरखे के आ जाने से कपड़ों के उत्पादन में बढ़ोतरी होने लगी. Irfan Habib attributes its use in Iran in the 12th century. ऐसा लगता है जैसे कि इरफान हबीब ने कहा है कि इसका प्रयोग जो है ईरान में 12वीं शताब्दी में मिलता है. And its earliest reference in India we get in the middle of the 14th century. and the earliest reference to it so far has been traced to the account of Isami, who wrote Futuh Salatin, and while referring to the reign of Razia, he writes a verse, और इसामी के उस वर्स में पद में हमको ये रेफरेंस मिलता है. He says that woman is good who works all the time with the चरखा, कि वह महिला अच्छी है जो पूरे समय चरखे का प्रयोग करती है. तो ये कहा जा सकता है कि 14वीं शताब्दी तक भारत में चरखे का प्रयोग होने लगा था. So thus apparently it came to India with the Turks. और फिर बाद के रेफरेंसेस में हमको अमीर खुसरो की वर्स में भी चरखे का प्रयोग मिलता है, जैसे कि उन्होंने एक वर्स लिखी थी, खीर पकाई जतन से चरखा दिया चला. इसके अलावा फिर अन्य रेफरेंसेस में मिलते हैं, जैसे कि एक सूफी शेख अमीरुद्दीन नागौरी के बारे में आता है कि वो खुद सूत काटते थे और सूत काट के अपना निर्वाह करते थे. So we find that generally it was used by the middle of the 14th century. So it seems that a spinning wheel increased the spinner's efficiency sixfold in comparison with a spinner working with a hand spindle. कि हथकरघों की उपेक्षा काम करने की क्षमता जो है वो बुनकरों की लगभग 6 गुना यानी 6 गुना बढ़ गई चरखे के आ जाने से. Another device that was introduced during this period was the bow of the cotton carder. कि धुनकी की मशीन जब आ गई तो उससे जो है वो एक तकनीक में जो लोगों की क्षमता, कपड़ा बुनने की क्षमता और बढ़ा दी. और इसके लिए फारसी में धुनिये के लिए नद्दाफ शब्द का प्रयोग हुआ है. So it is speeded up the process of separating cotton from seeds. यानी बिनौले से सूत निकालने लगे, जल्दी ये प्रक्रिया जो है वो और तेज हो गई. Another variety of cloth included silk. Silk was imported from Bengal, and in Bengal silkworms were also reared. However, we find that the raw silk was imported from Iran and Afghanistan. The silk of Cambay was among the costly items of cloth, and in Gujarat there was an important variety of cloth that was known by the term patola, and the patolas were very famous, and on the silk cloth designs were woven. So the patolas of Gujarat, there were many fancy designs that were woven on these patolas, and these were very high valued. So Gujarat was also famous for its gold and silver embroidery, generally on silk cloth. We get the references from Amir Khusro and Barthema, as well as Barbosa, regarding the clothes that were produced in Bengal. और ऐसा प्रतीत होता है कि इन लोगों ने जो वस्त्रों का उल्लेख किया है, अमीर खुसरो ने स्पेशली उन वस्त्रों की तारीफ की है जो अपनी एक मसनवी क़िरानुस सादैन में उन्होंने बुगरा खान ने अपने पुत्र कैटुबात को जो वस्त्र भेंट किए थे, तो उसमें अमीर खुसरो ने वस्त्रों की तारीफ की है. तो इन तीनों के रचनाओं में हमको अमीर खुसरो, वाक़ेमा और बारबोसा के वृत्तांत में हमको बंगाल के सर्वोत्तम श्रेणी के वस्त्रों का उल्लेख मिलता है. Besides that, wool was also an important item. Wool was procured from the mountainous tracts, and the finer qualities of woolen clothes and furs were largely imported from outside and were almost exclusively worn by the nobles. However, the shawl industry was also established at Kashmir, and during the time of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, we find a reference that he sent Kashmir shawls to the Chinese emperor. Carpet weaving also developed under the patronage of sultans, and many Iranian and Central Asian designs were incorporated during this period. Another industry was the dyeing industry. रंगाई उद्योग एक अन्य उद्योग था, और रंगाई जो है वो नील से और प्राकृतिक वनस्पति रंगों से की जाती थी. So indigo and other vegetable dyes were used for dyeing clothes. In Rajasthan, the tie and dye method was in use. बांधनी जिसको हम कहते हैं ये पद्धति प्रयोग में थी for a long since a long time. Though we have no information that when the hand printing using wooden blocks were introduced, लकड़ी के खांचों द्वारा भी हाथ से छपाई का कार्य होता था, लेकिन हमको एग्जैक्ट डेट नहीं मालूम है कि कब से ये चीज शुरू हुई. Basically, spinning was considered to be women's work, and it was carried out in homes. Even slave girls were used for this purpose. Weaving was also a household industry and was carried out in towns or in some of the villages. The weaving material was purchased by the weavers themselves or supplied to them by the merchants. The luxury items were generally produced in the karkhanas. During the time of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, we get the reference that 4,000 silk workers used to work and they were trained in the karkhanas. Then again during the time of Firoz Shah, we get the reference that he had recruited and trained large number of slaves to work in his karkhanas. Now I'll talk about the category of the merchants during this period. The category of merchants as mentioned in some of the sources of the Delhi Sultanate are the Karwanis or Nayaks and the Multanis. The merchants who specialized in carrying grains were designated by Barni as the Karwanis. This is a Persian term used for those who moved in large numbers. यानी कारवां में जो चलते थे उनके लिए टर्म यूज हुई है. The contemporary mystic Nasruddin Chirag Delvi also has called them Nayak and described them as those who bring food grains from different parts to the city of Delhi. Actually, these were the Banjaras of that period. The other group of merchants mentioned in our sources is that of the Multanis, who specialized in long distance trade. हमको बर्नी की तारीफ फिरोजशाही में मुल्तानीज का रेफरेंस भी मिलता है जो लंबी दूरी का व्यापार करते थे. The Sahas and the Multanis were generally Hindu merchants, but there is evidence of the presence of some Muslims also. Barni mentions to one such merchant as Hamiduddin Multani, and he chooses to call him as Malikut Tujjar. अधिकतर मलिकुत तुजार शब्द का उल्लेख उस सेंस में आया है कि जैसे जो व्यापारियों का लीडर हो. The operation of the banyas were financed by the rich merchants and the Sahas and the Modis. We find the reference of the expensive and heavy commodities like fine quality textiles. These were carried on the back of horses or in bullock carts. The movement of these goods was in karwas or tandas, protected by hired soldiers. Ibn Battuta mentions 30,000 months of grain being transported on the back of 3,000 bullocks from Amroha to Delhi. तो सामान लादने के लिए या तो घोड़ों का प्रयोग होता था या बैलगाड़ियों का प्रयोग होता था. Another important commercial class that emerged during the Sultanate period was that of the dalals or brokers. बनी की तारीफ फिरोजशाही में आप उसका भी रेफरेंस पाएंगे, स्पेशली अलाउद्दीन की वो बाजार जो घोड़ों से डील करती थी, कैसे उसने दलालों को वहां से खत्म कर दिया था. So they worked as a link between the buyer and the seller and took commission from both the parties. Barni says that they were the masters of market. उनके लिए बर्नी ने हकीमाने बाजार का शब्द प्रयोग किया है, यानी जो बाजार के नियंत्रक थे. Then the reference to the chief brokers by Barni also suggests that somewhat well-established guild of brokers. जिस तरह से बर्नी ने मुख्य दलालों को मेहतराने दलाल कह के रेफर किया है, वह इंगित करता है कि ये दलालों की एक संस्था थी. Though the details are lacking. However, during Alauddin Khalji's reign, These chief brokers dealt was dealt with severity और कड़ाई का रवैया उनके विरुद्ध अपनाया गया. But again we find during the Firoz Shah's time they seems to have regained their position और वो पुनः फिरोज शाह के काल में अपनी स्थिति को पहुंच गए. Firoz Shah Tughlaq had abolished दालात बाजारा ए टैक्स ऑन ब्रोकर्स लाइसेंस. उसने बहुत सारे टैक्सेस को माफ कर दिया था. उसमें एक टैक्स दालात बाजारा था जो दलालों पे उसने फिर से माफ कर दिया था. Then another mercantile group was called as Sarrafs and whose economic role was very important since they were the money changers. They were eagerly sought after by the merchants, especially by the foreign merchants who came to India with their native coins and needed their services. So the work of the Sarrafs was that they tested the metallic purity of the coins. उनका काम ये था कि वो जो सिक्के होते थे धातु के उनका कितना खरापन है वो उसको जांचें. So they used to establish the exchange ratio. They also issued bills of exchange और हुंडी. सर्राफ जो है वो हुंडी यानी जिसको बिल ऑफ एक्सचेंज के नाम से जाता है वो भी जारी किया जाते थे और लेटर्स ऑफ क्रेडिट भी कहा जाता है हुंडी को. Therefore, they also acted as bankers. Thus, both the bankers and the sarrafs, like Dalal and the sarraf, they occupied a very significant position in the commercial transactions